Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm Sankey84 and welcome to Dawn of Man. Dawn of Man was created by the same team that created Planetbase, and we all know how much I enjoy that game. So when I saw this one, I had to get it, and I have loved playing it ever since. So I thought, well, it's Sunday, you know what, let's play a game I enjoy and I can share with yourselves. So we are gonna quickly jump into a new game and I'll explain everything as we go along. So you start off with three options: an easy, medium and hard difficulties, and they all have different starting criteria. And yeah, so with the easy, the Continental Dawn, you start at the earliest time frame possible, and everywhere is evenly spread. There's plenty of resources, the seasons are fair and even, and other encampments and settlements are pretty fair and relaxed. In the Northlands, what's classed as the medium one, everything is identical to Continental Dawn, except winter is actually longer than the other three seasons. So obviously in winter no food grows, so you've got to try and get all your food and bits that you need during the other 3 months, what are actually shorter, so it's harder to keep yourselves fed. And in Ancient Warriors, you start halfway through the time periods and you are under attack from raiders from the word go. So trying to keep your people alive is a lot harder because they're constantly being attacked while you're starting off with nothing. But as I say, it's Sunday. We want to relax. So we're going to go with Continental Dawn. And just because it is the easiest one doesn't mean it's going to be easy. So now we need to decide where we're going to set up our settlement, and I'm going to go on my favourite map of them all, the Twisty River. I do enjoy this one. And of course it wouldn't be a Sankey84 gaming video if we didn't have a settlement called Sankeyville. We're going to keep everything. The only settings we're going to change is the starting conditions. Now we're settled, you start off with a small settlement picked by the game for you. So you just have to start building and expanding from there. Whereas if you go nomad, you get to select wherever it is you want to start, but you start with less resources. So it depends on which you prefer. Now, for me, and for today, we're going nomad. Okay, so let's pause it as soon as we get in. That way, then, we're not wasting time. Now, this is our tribe. We start off with 7, and no matter what difficulty you go on, you start with 7. So you can see now why the other ones become harder, depending on what conditions you've put in. Now we start off with 1 old man, 2 children, 2 male adults and 2 female adults. And that's it. They will have children of their own later on, but the main way to expand your settlement is to convince others to join you. The having kids is more for later on, but that doesn't stop these having them. Now, each have their own restrictions and abilities that they can do. Children can gather resources and move them around the settlement. So things like wood, they can go and gather wood, they can go and gather stones, anything that doesn't require tools. They cannot fight, they cannot hunt, they cannot do much. However, later on, they are the ones who can domesticate animals for you. So they do come in handy later on because they're the best for domesticating animals. The old ones, so whether it's an old man or an old woman, they can hunt, they can gather, they can transport, they can do everything, but at a slower pace due to obviously age, and their health is slightly lower, but they hit harder during fight because obviously they've got the experience. The women and the men are basically your general people. They do everything. If there's something that can be done, they can do it, and they'll do it probably better than any of the others. They can carry more, they can fight harder, they can build quicker. So they're your main lot that will be doing all the work. But before we get on with that, we need to find out, well, where are we going to start our settlement? Now, if we've gone unsettled, this is the area it will be in, and it's not a bad area. There's plenty of wood, there's water, there's plenty of other resources around. But why didn't I want it here? Well, the flatlands are few and far between in this game, and I've got to say, that's the only thing about this game I don't like. There's no maps where you can go, you know what, that's a brilliant place to build. You can build a nice and concentrate on your city and your settlement. They're all mountainous, and while that's great for some maps and some challenges you may want to do, sometimes, you know, I just like a map that is, you know, relatively flat with few hills and mountains. You know, that could be offset by not as many mountainous resources. So if I just quickly come down here and show, there we go. There's a copper ore deposit, so we can put a copper ore mine on there later on. And there's a flint, and here we go. We've got 2 flint mines right there. So, you know, these will be fewer and far between, but there'll be more flatlands to build on. So, you know, that could be the offsetting balance. But never mind. For now, this is what we've got, and this is what I've enjoyed playing. So we need to find an area to build. This is an okay area, but not for what we want. There are other areas around if you're prepared to look. Now this is a decent area once you get rid of some of the stone and the trees, but it's a fair distance away from any water, so that's not going to be any good for us. We want to make sure, obviously, it's close to water. Now this used to be my favourite area to build in. There are 2 large-ish areas of flatland to build into. Water right on the, well, in the middle of it would be. And there are a fair number of resources around. And even just a little walk away, there is more flatlands here. But that's not what we're going to be building today. We are going to be going a bit further up north of the map, because I came across this area, yet I've never built here. This is going to be new for me, and that's here. It is huge regarding the amount of flatlands in comparison to the rest. There are not really that many resources, so that's going to be the downside to it. All the resources are classed as small, so we are going to run out pretty quick, and then we're going to have to be going further afield for them. So that's going to be the challenge for this settlement. But yeah, we've got the water here, and we do have another small area over here we could expand into, and even down the line, another big flat area down here. Now this area would be nice to build into, however, yeah, it's this walk here. It doesn't look like much, but early on in the game, that's a fair distance for your settlers to be travelling just to get a drink of water. So we're going to be starting right on the banks over here. So what do we need? Well, first things first, we're going to need somewhere to store everything. So let's get down our storage tent, and you will notice that when we place the storage tent down, and I'm going to be putting it this way for future planning, because that is one thing that you are going to need to do is future plan. So when we put it down, yeah, it's not there. It doesn't get built until your settlers actually build it. So we're also going to need a wood pile to store any wood that we collect. And we're also going to need a rock pile for any rock that we collect. Now the rock pile and we're going to put there, yeah, that'll be fine. Now we're going to get time ticking along slowly, just so we can get the settlers over here and they can start building while we're getting everything else set up. So what we need to do as well is assign jobs, because once you've used the resources up, they're going to need to get more. So we go into here and we've got the jobs. So gathering sticks, what we need to build, and it's not a case of, yeah, right, gather sticks, who's going to be doing that? There's going to be a work area. So anybody who is capable of gathering sticks, so that is everyone, will work in that area to gather any sticks that are there. And as you can see, it does change. If it's red, that means there's no sticks in the area to gather. If it's yellow, that means there's at least one that you can get. Now this is a decent area actually down here. There's plenty down here that would last, but at the moment it is a fair bit away from the storage. So yeah, I think we'll go here. This should last us. That's not a problem. Now sticks do replenish once every year. So every year more sticks will respawn in. Now just because that's down doesn't mean that we're finished with that. We need to say how many people are going to be working in this area at one time, and how many do we want them to collect in total. So we're going to go 2, so we can get 2 people at any one time in here. And it doesn't mean it's going to be 2 people and that's it. People will change jobs depending on what they perceive as the most important. So you don't want too many people having too many jobs. And the number down here is not how many will they collect, it's how many will they go and get until that amount is in storage. Now, obviously we want a fair few, but not too many. You don't want to do unlimited, because then they'll just keep going back. You want to put a limit on them to stop working there. So 50 should be enough for now. So once we've got 50 sticks in storage, then no one will go and collect any sticks. Now these piles can hold 40, so that means these piles will be full, and there'll be 10 in the actual storage tent once it's built. Next, flint. We're going to need flint for tools and a lot of basic weaponry when we get to there. So again, there's 3 over there. You want to try and get as much into each. Oh, there we go. We've got 4 actually. Yeah, we'll take that one. You want as many in each area as possible, just so you're not then having to go and put multiple work areas down, because things like flint will run out, sticks will run out, but will replenish, the flint won't. Right, again, we're going to go with 2 and 50, especially because we've only got 7 people at this moment in time. Next, we're going to leave the food for a minute, because, well, we need to get things built first. So, stone. Now, stone comes in 3 varieties. You've got the large stone piles here. These can only be used with picks. You cannot pick them up by hand. Children can't take this stone, and you need to be worked before you can start using them. There is also medium ones and tiny ones. I'm trying to see if I can find a medium one somewhere. That one looks like a medium down there, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So you've got the mediums there, and you've got mainly, there's a small one there in there. There's 2 small there actually. but mostly the small ones are down by the river, and them ones can be picked up by children and done by hand. So they're the ones you're going to be wanting to start off with. So again, there's a fair few around here, so let's put that there, and it does have the 2 large ones in for later on, so we're not going to lose this. And where did I just put that? If you do lose a flag, just press the plus key and it will take you to one of them, and just keep hitting the plus until you get to the one you want. There we go, again 50 and 2 is working there. So technically that's 6 people working now we've got. But yeah, so that is going to be okay, that's fine. You can see now they're here, they're starting to build, and we're short on sticks. So they'll go and gather the sticks and then bring it back and start to build it up. The 2 piles have been done, that's not a problem. And yet we have animals running through camp. That can be sorted out later. But you do need to be careful as well, because some animals will attack. And actually, let's just pause it a moment, because, well, that's a decent thing to look at here. Animals and hunting. Animals learn. If you hunt them in a certain area, they will eventually stop coming to that area. That particular animal. Other ones might still come there, but you can hunt animals out of an area. So try and keep an eye on where you're hunting. Sometimes the starting area is a good place, but water is always the best place to put a hunting circle down. Now, it doesn't mean they'll only hunt animals in that circle. That is basically any animal who comes in that circle is available to be hunted, and the animals, even if they leave that area, can still be hunted. I have seen it where, you know, using this as an example, let's put it down actually first. Let's go hunt, and we're going to say, because we can see where some are, some of that, so we're going to say near the camp to try and keep them away from camp. There. We're going to say unlimited skins, because it doesn't matter on that. We want to keep the hunting up to a fair bit, because we don't want them going hungry. But we don't want everyone out hunting constantly, so 150% of meat, and everyone can hunt. Well, 5 people can hunt anyway. Right. So any animals that come in here are available to be hunted. Now, to see whether you want to personally do any hunting or not, because you can tell them to hunt something specifically. So we had a fella around here a minute ago. If we just go into instinct mode, you get to see all the animals around and their danger level. So of course these little piglets are green because they're not going to fight back. They're going to be easy to kill, but they're not going to have that much on them. The adult pig is slightly off green, a more greenish yellow, and that's because that will fight back, but it's easy enough to kill. Then if we just head over here, we've got the yellow here of, I think that's going to be a cow, and then there is a red down here. So of course, red, the cave hyena, that's going to be lethal. That's going to fight to the death. It probably will never run. Now and again it may do if it's completely overwhelmed, but more often than not it will fight to the death, and it will take a lot to kill. It's got a lot of health and a very high attack, so it's very dangerous, especially attacking one-on-one. Again, obviously you've got bears, and there are plenty of animals around. So you can hunt manually, but having a hunting ground is the best way to keep that constant influx of food. So what we're going to do is anything as well that is in blue is usually something to do with your settlement or something you can't really do anything with. So we'll select him and we'll say this piglet at the back, go and kill that one for its meat. So then we just carry on, he'll come over, and if you want to watch it close up, go into camera mode and you can actually watch him hunt it. Now you can, if you want, just follow them around, but then obviously you're not watching the rest of your settlement. But yeah, he will now follow that and hunt it down. There we go. 2 hits, it's dead, and the rest ran off because they didn't want to defend. They were too busy trying to save their own lives and getting away. And he'll now go and butcher it and take anything he can from there. So if we come out now quickly and then let him get on with that, you can see that, yep, everyone is bringing stuff over. We're still waiting on sticks. I don't know why we haven't got any sticks yet, but they will be collecting them. That's not too much of a problem at the moment because we're still getting things set up. So as you can see now, they've walked into the hunting ground, so they've been tagged as available to hunt, and that will stay on them until they leave the map. So as I was saying before, yeah, just pause it again quickly. They are walking this way, so they could travel all the way over to here. Just trying to find the edge of the map. So yeah, the maps are big. There we go, found the edge of the map. So they could travel all the way down to here and sit here. And one of our settlers, tribesmen, go, right, you know what, I'm going to hunt them, and we'll walk all the way down here to hunt them. So yeah, that can be good, but it can also lead to people getting fairly far away. So there is, obviously, as I say, an upside and a downside to it. Let's just quickly get back to our encampment. And that, as I say, that is the extreme of it. It's not usually as bad as that, but it can be. So you need to keep that in mind. Next is, we're going to need, let's get time moving again. Got the hunt. Right, there's fishing. Because there's water near us, we can fish. And I'm going to put the fishing just up a little bit away from the hunting ground. And you want to try and get as many sections in as you can. Normally, 3 is the most you're going to get. Sometimes you can get lucky and get a 4th, depending on, you know, if you can get a decent bend in the water or a curve or something. But if you can get 3 in, that's pretty good. Now, only 1 person can use each section. So you don't want to be putting 5 people down here. What you want to do is actually you want to do 1 less. And the reason you want to do 1 less is because these have limits. You can fish it out, but it does replenish over time. So you don't want to have all 3 of these empty, because then you've got to wait for all 3 to be filled again before you can come and fish here again. So the best thing to do is put 2, then they'll work on 2 of them while the other one replenishes or is full. So when one of them's empty, you can still fish from the final one. But we're going to go, just like with the meat, we're going to go 150 of food. Now them 2 can be done all year round, and that's one reason as well why we've put limits on them, because they can be done all year round. We don't need to worry about them running out. Now there we go, we've got the storage tent almost built, so we can start storing stuff again. And now that's built, we're going to need more things to build. So we're going to need somewhere to sleep, because obviously they're going to need to sleep, and we're going to need to try and get more people in, and without places to sleep, people won't join. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 4 of these, I think, because each one of these tents can accommodate 3 settlers. So what we're going to do is, as I say, put the 3 in here, and the 4th one. Right, so what will happen, they'll build that. That will then increase our capacity up to 12, what means there's more people are likely to join. We're also going to need a fireplace to keep them warm in winter and let them cook the food. We're going to need more skins, so we're going to need a skin dryer, because obviously all the buildings use the skins. And this can go up here. We're going to want multiple, because these can hold 2. So if we pour 5 in, that's 10 at one time we can be drying off. And of course, we need a crafter so we can start to build and create things. So the crafter, I really want it up near the storage tents, but for now, it can go here because we can put more storage down here later on when we're expanding a bit more. But for now, that will do there. We want these up quick so we can get the skins drying and collected. And finally, the last bit we're going to need is some spiritual guidance. So let's get a skull pole in, and we'll put one there and one there. So there you go. They can get on with building them now. Right, the final bit that we need to give jobs for. This one can only be done at certain times of the year, and that is harvest plants. So some plants can only be harvested in summer, some can only be done in autumn. So this is where you get your boost basically to your food supplies. So you want to make sure you've got a good area selected, and again you don't want it too far away, so it's just that's not a bad area actually, but it's across the water and we haven't got, oh, there is there, but again that's, well actually right on in camp there's a fair few I didn't notice, so there we go. Yeah, what we'll do is we're going to put that there, and this one is going to be slightly different. As you can see there's bushes right here, the children can gather these, but what we're going to say, we're going to put 5 on, so as many people as possible can come and collect, and we're going to keep it unlimited. Because they can only be done at certain times of the year, we want to get as much as possible, as quick as possible from them. So that is all the jobs now set up. Now it's just a case of speeding time up and getting everything built. Another thing you will have seen, or may have noticed, is technology. We're going to have a look at that in a moment once we get our tech points, or knowledge points as it is in this, but I will be calling them tech points, up to 5, because that's what we need for the first tech, and we'll have a look at them when we get in there. But there we go. Yep, you've got our first one built, and you get tech points for building stuff and hunting and gathering, so there's plenty of ways to get tech points. Earlier on you can get them pretty quick, but as time passes it's harder to get them and they become more expensive, as you will see. So there we go, we can see there we've got 1 skin drying on there, so you can keep an eye on it, and you can see that can hold 2, and you just put a second one on there now, so that's fine. We've got everyone gathering, and there we go, we've just hit 5 skill points, or tech points, knowledge points, whatever they are. Actually no, up to 7, because we've just got the first milestone. There we go. Hunting and gathering, we've got plenty of food and veg, or fruit, whichever one it is, the gathering, probably fruit. Right, so tech. This is the tech tree, and it's quite a nice tech tree. You can't go up until you've got the relevant tech, basically, or tech points. So each thing gives you something different, and it has an amount. So the first one we're going to do is the food drying, because that then makes sure our food lasts longer, because food does decay. Everything decays in this. Your weapons, your buildings, your food, you name it, it can decay and eventually break or become no good. So doing that means fish and meat last longer. Obviously we start off with the basic things like basic harpoons and spears made of bone, then we can get flint, and then as time progresses and we get the knowledge, and we can eventually get down to things like swords and shields and chainmail and deep mines, iron smelting, steel making and the like. And even, yes, we can do the wonder, we can start building wonders. So yeah, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them put in now, because the sooner we get it in, the better. And where we're going to have our food production, I think we can have it, well, for now, we might change this later on, but for now we can put it here. It's close to the storage tent and it's a decent area. So they'll get the food wherever it is, they'll bring it over to these once they're built, and then once they've dried off, they can store them away. So yeah, let's have time going as fast as possible, and when things get built, we can then move on a bit. So time has moved on a little bit, and as you can see, things have progressed a fair bit. Winter is just coming to an end, so we are doing pretty okay. So we survived the first year, really. What's good, I guess. Nobody has died, but we haven't really got up and running. We're just finally now getting our crafting, so we can start actually making tools. And what we're going to do is select all of them by right clicking and say, you know, just build them as often as you can, because we need as many tools in as possible. And you can actually go in down here into limit and select for everything, if you wish, the maximum that you want for everything. And I'm going to put everything up to 150%. That way then, there's always going to be enough for one for everyone and some spares, just to be on the safe side that, you know, for people who join, or if one breaks, you can go and replace it straight away. So that is fine, and while we're here and we're just waiting for things to get built, we can actually do the same with everything else. And with clothing especially, we want to make sure there's enough clothing for everyone. So we've got them there with all the limits done. Now that should last us a fair while, and now we've got plenty of tech points, so we can go and get a fair few bit more. So one thing we're going to do is a funerals, and we're going to get our tools up to the next level. So let's make sure they're being built as well. In fact, you can just build everything for now. That's fine. So as soon as we get the tech to unlock them, we can start building on them. Let's get these up to priority now, so they can get built quick. That way then we can start getting more people in, we can start getting the job percentage down. You want to try and keep your job percentage between 100 and 150. That is basically 100. If at 100 means everybody has a job. And yeah, if you drop below 100, why you might think, well, that's great. It's going to mean you're going to have people stood around doing nothing. And if you get over 150, that means people are going to have like 2 jobs to try and do, and they may start prioritizing the wrong one over the one you want them to do. So trying to balance that is quite difficult, but it can be done. Right, let's have a look. With that tech now, we've unlocked the burial mound, so we're going to need somewhere to put this. Now, you don't want it too close to camp, because obviously you don't want, you know, the dead being buried in the settlement really close, but you don't want it too far away either, because you don't want them carrying them around for ages. So we're just going to put them just up here, I think. Put 2 in there. That way then you're not going to have dead people laying around your settlement, and they're going to have somewhere to go and mourn them should they wish to, and they will mourn them. So that is fine for now, and I don't think we've got anything else that needs building yet. Actually, you know what? Let's put another storage tent in here, and this is where future planning came into it, because I wanted to make sure I could put these back to back. We may, if I'm not mistaken, have... Yep, we've now can cut down trees for fuel. So what we might as well do is say just all the ones on the outside of the encampments for now are available to be cut down. And again, 2 people on there. Now trees will grow back. in a couple of years. And you may get to see that actually as time progresses and these get cut down. You will start to see more growing where these once were. But at the minute we've got no picks, we've got no tools, so we really need to try and get some built. So the best thing to do for that then is going to be to build another crafter, and then we can have them doing separate things. So let's go production and crafter, there we go. We put that one there for now. Once that's built, we can have one for tools and one for clothing, because you can only have, I think is it 2 being built at a time. You can only have 2 people working on it at a time. So yeah, if you can get that, then you can have one dedicated to clothing and one dedicated to tools, and then obviously later on you can get more in and then make them more specific. But for now, there we go, we're finally getting tent 3 in, so everyone now has somewhere to sleep. And as you can see, we've actually got capacity for 2 more, so that means 2 more people can join, or the 2 women may actually end up having a child each. So there we go, we've got a trader now. Now traders, just like in Planetbase, it's exactly the same. Select what you want, it gives you a value, and you've got to match it or better it. Now, especially this early in the game, trades is a bit weak. You don't really need much trade. That's more for if you're struggling. But we're not. We're doing pretty okay. We've got 6 fish. We're okay. Got 6 fish in there. We've got, you know what, it's coming to winter. And yet winter does affect the animals that are around, so you'll get different animals in winter than you do in the other seasons, and as you can see, there's less of them about. So let's see, can we find anything nearby? Right, we've got, what's that? We've got a horse down here, so yep, looks like we're going to be having horse for a while. So select all of them for now because it's a yellow, and tell them to go and hunt that horse down. Let's just keep an eye on it. There we go. Oh, where's it gone? Yeah, I am doing this in full speed. I think we got it. Did we get it? No, you're still hunting, I think. No, it escaped. Never mind. It got away. It got too far away from the hunting party. So, do we go after the rhino? You know what? It's an orange, and there's plenty of meat on it. So, you're all around it. Let's go into a bit of a slower speed so we can keep an eye on it. And we'll hunt the woolly rhino. Now the rhino will fight back. Unlike a lot of them. Why are you not fighting? You fight. You're not fighting because I don't know. Ah, there we go. Now you are. There we go. We did it. We had the numbers, so we managed to get it. So that's fine. You. No, don't go and get a flint spit. Go and have. Yeah, sometimes they don't really listen to you. Never mind. Someone will come and harvest that in a minute. So it should be a fair bit of meat for them. There we go. Here he is. It's going down to get it. So that is what? Let's have a look. 9 meat that is. So that's going to be enough meat to feed everybody. There you go. There's 7 coming over to harvest it now. So that's fine. We'll get the meat. We'll get a fair bit of skin and a couple of bones as well. So there we go. They'll come, gather it, and come back with that meat. So that's pretty. So sometimes, you know, things like that are great. A little bit more time has passed, and we've got our final tent up, and we've had a new settler join us. So that's good. We're now up to 8. And as winter's coming to an end, we should get a new tech point, so we can unlock a new tech. Just wait, there we go, that's coming now. So, as spring hits, we can, let's increase our weaponry so we can fight from a bit further of distance and hopefully better at killing things. So we've got a new milestone now, so with survival, because we've lasted 2 years, so that's good to see. And that also gives us a bonus tech point. There we go. Cutting down trees now because the tools are now starting to be made. So that's nice to see. And let's just have a check. Anything? Yeah. Just got to wait for these to be built. Now, once these are built, we can then start expanding a little bit more. But at the minute, food is just about holding steady. In fact, what I'm going to do is, we're going to jobs again. We're going to go back to fish. Now, we've got the fishing up here. So, we're going to come down this way. And you'll see why I'm leaving these open later on. Again, it's all about future planning. So, we'll get 3 down here. So, we'll put you there. And again, we'll do 2 down here. So, now we've got 4 spots we can fish from out of 6. So that should hopefully keep us going and increase our fish supply. But obviously, at the moment we're at 320%, so yeah, they're not going to be prioritising the tasks as needed. We've got our first burial mound, what's good, because then anyone who dies can be buried in there. And at the minute, yeah, it's just a case of waiting for the tech points to come in now. And for us to build. Let's have a look. Anything we need? No, we're okay for now with that. So, thank you, but nothing again this time. A little bit more time has passed, and as you can see, our resources have gone up a fair bit now, thanks to them bits that we've added in, plus a few bits of hunting that they've been doing. And we have now got some new tech. And the reason I'm picking this one out is because this is where we get a little bit of help. It's our first lot of domestication. We can actually now domesticate dogs. And this one gets done automatically, but you can do it manually. So any wolf cubs that are around, the children will go off and try to domesticate. And you can then have them guarding your camp. And then when we get the next tech boost, we can then have them and train them up to go on hunting with the hunting team. So whenever anyone goes out hunting, they can, if they wish, take a dog with them and have help. So that means then obviously, instead of them going just after the green, they will then go after, say, a yellow, or even if they're brave enough, after an orange. But yeah, the camp is now starting to take shape. We've now got 2 there, so we'll take you off clothes, keep you with your tools, and then you can concentrate on clothing. So that then as well saves space in the resource slots for the more dedicated things. So obviously any dry skins or leather, because we've now can start producing leather, will be put into here, and the rest of it will go in there. As you can see, the food is drying nicely. Autumn is setting in, and we're up to 9. So what we're going to have to do is, even though we've got space for 12, we're going to have to start looking soon at putting in another tent, what is a good sign. And yet we've chopped down a fair few trees, not many, but enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this wood pile off now. We're going to put another, nope, storage is the one I want. I'm going to put another wood pile in here, because I didn't leave space for it before. So now the tree's down, we'll put it there, and we'll say this one can be logs, this one can be twigs, so take them out. So someone can move them in a moment. And we'll do the same over here. We could have done this earlier, but I didn't. So rock pile. Now there are plenty of rocks that you can collect. It's not just flint or stone. There is obviously charcoal and all the mining stuff that we can get. So we'll just put them like that. Get rid of you. And then obviously with them being dedicated, it means then you can get more of that one resource in the one area. Storms hitting at the moment, and storms can be dangerous, mainly later on, but they can actually hit and kill your people. As I say, mainly up in the mountains, so it's when you really get mining, you need to be careful of storms. Nothing you can do about to stop it, but you just something you need to watch out for possibly happening. So, as I say, this is actually quite nice mountain here. Tin, copper and iron. Well, that'll be nice later on. Again, they are limited, so, you know, once they're empty, they're empty. But, yeah, we are starting to get jobs done and starting to get things together now. So year 3 is about to end, but I just thought I would have a quick look at the trader. You can get techs from the traders and they can be quite expensive. In the settings we've got at the moment, we don't need to bother about trying to get techs quicker than we can't do because, well, nobody else expands or gets the tech up quicker. If we went to a harder difficulty or set some settings different where, you know, other settlements can get techs quicker than you, then that's a great way to actually get some bonus techs in early, assuming you have the resources. But we're not going to bother with that today. But at the end of year 3, we are up to 12 settlers. We've got a fair amount of food in. We've got 13 meat and 11 fish. We've eaten all the fruit. And we're now expanding some more settlers. And we can now get our tech up again. And we can now train the dogs to go hunting with us. So now we can hunt bigger and larger animals and get more meat in. We've also got our spiritual area expanded a little bit, so that is going nice. And the one thing we are struggling slowly on, there we go, there's one of the dogs we've got there, an adult male. So one of our pups has now grown into an adult, so that will just sit around camp and help defend it should it need be. And yep, there's another one over there as well, so yeah, you will see them coming in. But what we're going to do as well is we're going to need to, as we're expanding and getting bigger, we're going to need to get more hunting grounds in. So I'm going to put a second hunting area up here. We're already fishing in this area, so we might as well have some hunters up here. And as you can see, there is plenty of animals up here to hunt. So we'll go into there, and again, 5, and we'll keep all the others the same. So that's now looking decent, and we'll... Unfortunately, we are not 1 point away from the next tech, because if we just check the tech tree, we actually need 15 to go up to the next era. Now, you cannot just have anything. To go up an area, you have to unlock a specific one. So, in this case, we need pottery to unlock the next one. Then once we've done that, we're going to need to go cereal domestication, then copper smelting, then bronze smelting, and then iron smelting. So you need the unlock tech to get up a level, and that one is more expensive than the ones that are in there. I think it's about double. Don't quote me on that. I've never actually paid too much attention to it, but I do believe it's double, because I know these are 7 to unlock these. Actually, we can check that now, and that's 15. That's 15, and that's 7, yeah. 20, yeah, it is. The double, basically, what the tech is inside it. So, it does take a bit to get it, but once you've got it, then they are usually really good ones, because they completely change things that you can do. But, yeah, everyone seems to be happy-ish. Jobs are plentiful at the minute. People are working for jobs at the moment, but that is mainly because it is in spring, no, in summer now. So yeah, everyone is rushing to gather all the fruits that they can. We've got an old male here, so he will be dying off soon. These will, if we have a male and a female, will have offspring of their own. But we need to obviously get them in, and we've got another trader who has nothing we need, so that's okay. As you can see here, these are actually starting to decay, so we're going to need to get these fixed. But unfortunately, with a number of jobs everyone's got, it could take a while for that to happen. But we've now got 6 spaces available, and hopefully that will then encourage more people to join. Okay, so as you've just seen then, we've taken down our first woolly mammoth, and we get a lot for that, we do. Not only in resources, but in experience as well. So that's really nice, and that even means we can now have enough points to... Oh, right, what was that? Quickly... Oh, right, people don't have clothes. That's okay, we'll get that sorted soon. But yeah, we've now hit 15, so that means we can now unlock pottery, what means not only can we have water in camp, so now that distance doesn't matter so much, it also means we now have the ability to start learning new techs, and there are some nice techs here. So first thing we need to do is why I left this area before, because even though that's something. Even though you've got, you know, water and fish and everything in one, you can only have one job going on in that at a time. So what I'm going to do is actually going to do 3, 1 for each section. That way then we'll have these 2 being collected for water, and this one will be primarily fish, but once this is emptied, then that can become collectible for water, while these 2 are being fished out. So that's the main reason why we've left these 2 specifically empty. We've got the other fishing one down here somewhere, but we don't seem to be doing any fishing down here. Oh no, fishing's all the way down here, sorry. I put this one a bit further down, didn't we? Okay, so we can now start collecting water and bringing it back to camp to store it. And of course we get another milestone unlocked because we've gone up an era, so that's great to see. That's more tech points coming in for us. And hopefully, now because people won't be travelling down to the river as often, we can get on with doing more jobs, because while they're in camp, they can get a drink in camp. Or, well, at least they will do once we start collecting the water. And I'm thinking now we're going to have to start increasing our supplies, because obviously we are starting to get a bit bigger, and we're going to need to start separating them out. So storage tent number 1 can go here, and this one can be for resources. So anything that gets made in this one, so that's going to be like your tools, can go in here. So if we just quickly left click on them, so we say only tools in there, that means that we don't need tools being stored up here. We'll take that off later on. And then we can do another one here that will be clothing only. So let's cut this tree down, and then once that tree is down, we can put another one here for clothing only. That way then this is just going to be for food, and we'll have 1 for food and 1 for resources, you know, basic materials. In fact, let's start that process going now with that one, and this one will become just food later on. And trader, have you got anything that we could do with? Now again, yeah, sledge making will be pretty handy, but at the minute, you know, we've got nothing that we want from you. And always when you get a new tech, go through and check to see if you get anything new, because it doesn't always tell you when you've actually unlocked a new building or new work area. So you do need to keep an eye on that. And that is another year gone. And we are still here. We've still only had the 1 death, and yes, I know clothing is a bit of an issue. Right, let's put that as a priority now, so we can get clothes in. So a bit more time has passed, not too much actually, and we've now got 7 tech, so we can get our next lot of technology. And while it is tempting to go for archery so we can hunt and kill larger and bigger creatures, we're actually going to go for now, because of the amount of jobs, we're going to go with sledge making. Now that's actually going to at first add to the amount of jobs that we need to have done, but in the long run it will help us out. Now, sledge making has two sections to it. One, because we've unlocked transport, we can now put transport posts down because there is sledges and there's carts and there are ploughs. And the transport post can store 2 at a time. So what we're going to do is up here by the storage tents, we're going to go and put 2, you know what, if we can spin that around a bit. We're going to put use there, we're going to have 3 there, and we're going to say the only ones that can go on there for now are the sledges. So we'll get them built. That's 6 sledges we can have built and stored. We can have more sledges, that's not a problem. And to get the sledges, it's simple. Go in and we can build them manually. Later on you can have them built automatically, but for now we can only do manual, so let's just build 6 of them for now, and they will get stored on it so settlers can come and collect them when they need them, and they will also be able to carry more. So at the moment a settler can carry, depending on their age, 1 or 2 items, whereas if they're using the sledge they can carry 6, no matter the age, because obviously when you get to the elderly you lose that second carry slot. Right, that storage tent's now built, so that's the tools gone in, so we can take tools off here now. So that's good to see, and that also means we can take minerals off because that's the minerals there. So that's fine, they'll get moved around a bit in time. And we just need 1 more once this tree has been cut down. There we go, it's down. Once these have been moved, or can we start it off now actually? Let's have a look. Storage, yep, we can put it in now, that's fine. And we're going to put you there because you're going to be clothing. So once you're built, we can then take clothing off it, and then everything has its own dedicated storage thing. So everything is stored together and we don't need to worry about a settler going back into to get to different storage tents to get the same item. So there we go, that's our first sledge has now been built, and we've now got enough tech as well to get a new one, so we'll look at it in a minute. But as you can see there are plenty of slots down here for somebody who wants to carry a load. So instead of saying, I don't know, coming down to, let's find somewhere, stone, coming down here, mining this and carrying 1 or 2 bit block, instead of coming down here and carrying 1 or 2 blocks back to camp really slowly, at a slightly faster pace, they can actually carry 6 now, so that's great. And oh, somebody's already taken it. Okay, never mind. Don't know who that was, but oh, there we go. You're there. Yeah, they will even use it to move things around camp as well, so that can become handy, especially again if you're building. So you know that requires a number of sticks, so they'll go gather it up there, put it onto the sledge, and then carry all of them in one go down instead of making separate journeys. And yeah, unfortunately he has just left that there instead of taking it back, but thankfully someone else has got it. And are they going to take it back, or are they going to, let's have a look. Yep, he just grabbed it to put it back and then use it. But what we're going to do is, just so that doesn't happen, we're going to put some down here now because there are storages down here. So let's just quickly pause because we've got a fair bit of tech as well that we can use. And build. Now we've come out with that mode. We want, no, not storage, it is transport. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1, yeah, we'll put 1 there and 1 there. So that's 2 that can be stored by this storage tent and 2 by that one. And then we've got a fair bit up here that can be stored. We don't need to build any more yet because 6 should be enough to start us off. And let's have a look at them tech, and yes, as you can see, we are building some more because we're nearly up to capacity. What's also going to mean we're going to have a look at more food. tech. Here we go. Well, first thing we're going to do, it's 7 each. So let's get more types of food in. So if we can get grain processing, we can then start harvesting some of the grain that's around, that's growing naturally, and then we can start producing bread, and then the next time we can go on to archery. Right, so let's have a look then. We're going to need more food, so harvest the wild plants, that's all we want, and there's a fair bit up here, and if I'm not mistaken, there's a fair bit of it that is. Let's actually have a look. What are you? You're lentils. We can't do you. Where's the one that was down here? Rye. Okay. So, yeah. There is some around here, but there's plenty of others as well. So what we're going to do is we're again under attack. Yeah, they keep coming in and attacking us. So, unfortunately, where are you? Anyone around you that can help? The answer is no, but you look like you've killed them off already, so you're okay there. Right. As I was saying, you can always tell as well what you're under attack because the music does change. So around here, largest area possible to get as much in. And oh yeah, there's loads over here. So you there, and we'll do the same as the other one. 5 years maximum. So when there's anything ever available to grab from there, you can do that. And where is our wood? How are we doing for chopping down of the trees? Yeah, we've still got a fair few inside that, so that is okay for now. And we're actually almost full on the wood, so that's okay. That's up now, so we can take clothing off of you and yeah, put it all in there, so that's fine. And our second tent now is going up, so we should be okay for capacity. Yeah, that'll put us up to 7 once that's finished building. Alright, we have no picks, but that's okay, we can get them built soon. Traders, have you got anything decent we can use? Nope. Fine, not to worry. Yeah, we're going to go with the bow and arrows to start off with, so we can get better hunting, and down the line, so we can defend ourselves better against raiders and whatnot. And then we're going to look at improving our tools, because we do need to get our tool work up. But everything seems to be ticking over nicely for now, and that's another year past. And I know I can't believe I've not mentioned this before, but I do love the way the seasons change. If you up in the top right here, you can see obviously what season it is, but if not, you can always tell or have an idea just by looking at the map. So it is really enjoyable and nice to see the seasons actually change. A little bit more time has passed and we've hit 20 population, so that gives us a good boost and another milestone unlocked. So we're now classed as expanding, so that's great. And as I say, that's given us quite a lot of tech, so now we can get our bows and arrows, and then next time we can concentrate on getting a bit more in the way of better tools. So there we go, archery's now being unlocked, and in here we can now, as you see, start building bows. So that will then, once we've got them, we can now then hunt better against, yes I know workload is high, we can now start hunting better against the bigger animals and even go after, without as much of a risk, the large creatures that roam. But yeah, as you can see now, compared to when we started off, we've now got a fair bit of space to expand into because we have been cutting down the trees. But slowly and steady, we're going to keep going. We've got space for 4 more, so we're okay for now. We'll put another 2 huts here in a bit. But we don't want too many huts in to begin with because we don't want to be growing too fast. We want to make sure we keep an eye on how food is, because if we need to, we can stop the population from growing. Whereas if you've got, I don't know, say space for another 20 and you realise you've not got any food, then it's going to be hard to get that food in before people start to join. Oh, there you go. Look, they're being stored on there now because nobody's actually using them. What's fine, you know, if people don't need to use them, they won't. And there we go. Trader now has come in. And again, nothing really I am interested in, but you know, it's only a 1, so let's take some grain, and that actually reminds me we've got something else we can actually build now. So 8, let's have a look. What don't we need? You know what, it's only 4, so get rid of 4 bones for 5 grain. Now, as I say, one thing I did say earlier is always check when you get new tech, and I forgot to look and get the mortars in. Now, which one was food? Your food. So I want to make sure these are close to you. So there we go, mortars. This can then turn the grains that we have into flour, and then the flour can then be put onto the fires down here and turned into bread. So there we go, they've gone and quickly built then, and because we built multiple, we've now got a fair bit of tech, so we can now go and unlock better tooling. Thank you. So we'll get them up now. So several more years have passed and we've expanded a fair bit, and we've now got enough tech to go up to the 3rd era, and this does unlock a really nice change in everything. It turns you from scavenging to actual farmers. So let's unlock that, unlock the next era, but this does also unlock certain attacks. You will now start getting attacked by raiders instead of animals, although there will still be a fair few animal attacks coming along. Now I've tried to clear out as much as I can, but unfortunately we've not got a lot. So what we're going to do is, now we've got our farmland, we're going to put our first farm down. So what we'll do is we'll just come over here, and if we select a nice area, no, that area is not good enough. We need to make sure we've got a decent area. There we go, right. So there we go, a 5x5 field. In fact, actually no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it a bit closer. Let's find you. There we go. So 5, okay, fine. I'll go there then. Right, 5x5, it's relatively close to the settlement, we're not too close. And we'll put that down, and of course we're going to make that a high priority, because then as soon as spring comes around, they will start to plant. We'll put another field next to it here. Again, 5x5 because that's the biggest you can do, but we're going to plant something slightly different because they can get diseased and you want a variety. So if one's diseased, you're still okay for another. Now we're still going to go out and hunt and fish and do all the other stuff, but now we've got farming, we can start producing food in large quantities. And eventually then, as we go up, we can get more foods, more... Oops, where's it gone? There's more foods we can have. Obviously, there's veg, and there we go. As soon as spring hits, we can now see everyone rushing over to start farming. And yeah, there we go. It's quite nice to see. And actually, what we'll do is we'll play this year out, and probably in full speed, and I'll probably even speed up a bit myself. But yeah, there we go, they'll come in, they'll all plant something, and then that will grow over the year. And then come autumn, they will then harvest it, and we'll have lots of food. And unfortunately somebody died while planting, so yeah, if you can just go and plant that, and yeah, you'll come, take their body and pull it over to our cemetery over here. That even has expanded because we've had people dying of old age pretty quickly, because obviously all the original ones have got old and died off. So yeah, we needed to expand that a bit, but There we go, another one's died of old age. So yeah, we're starting to lose some of our older ones and needing to be replaced with youngers. But we're okay for now. So let's just quickly watch this year go by and we can see how everything grows and the amount of food we actually get in. Because these don't produce just one resource. You actually get two out of them. You get the food and you get the straw. And as you can see down here, we've got some straw that we've been getting in, and that is great for building materials, and we will see that down the line. Okay, have to kind of stop it there because we've got our first raider attack, and it looks like it's a bunch of old ones, so I'm guessing not too much trouble thankfully, but yeah, these will vary. There will be varying number, the weapon level, sorry, the tech level, their age, and the split between genders, and yeah, so what we need to do is hit that red alert. Well, unfortunately it's going to stop all of our farmers, but we've got a fair bit of food in, so let's get in and defend, and we'll do this in normal speed so we can watch it. And in fact, because everybody has gathered weapons and got down closer, we're going to go in and watch this ourselves. So let's just go in here, let's put it up to speed 2 until we get a bit closer. And there we go, there they are. We're just waiting now. Are they going to attack or are they going to flee? And there we go, they're coming for the attack, and when we get close enough, our villagers will attack and defend, and well, we completely outnumber them, outclass them, and yeah, we celebrate our first defense of our settlement. So let's come out there, switch the red alert off, and everyone can get back to doing the jobs. Now of course, as time progresses, their technology will increase, the numbers that will attack will increase, and it won't be as easy as that. But you know what, I think that's enough for today. We've watched our settlement grow from nothing into a settlement that can defend against an attack and can grow its own food now. So yeah, that is Dawn of Man, and yeah, I can play this for hours on end and probably will continue to play this through. But you know what? It's called Sunday Surprise because each week is a surprise. But don't be surprised if you don't see this return again at some point in the future when they add a little bit more to the game. Or you know what? I may even decide just to put it out there just for another episode to see how this town and settlement and villages have been getting along. So join me next time for a new video, and keep an eye out on future videos for the return of this. But in the meantime, I've been Sankey84. This has been Dawn of Man. Thank you so much for joining me. Look after each other, and until next time, goodbye.